Dear students, now I would like to discuss the topic electric field intensity at a point on the equatorial plane or line. Equatorial plane or line, it means in Assamese, Bihubio Homotol or Nirakhya Rekha. Okay, that means we are going to find out net electric field due to a dipole on equatorial line. Now see this diagram. You have to understand this diagram clearly, then you can calculate everything easily. Suppose this is a dipole. This is the point charge minus q and this is the point charge plus q, and this is the axis of the dipole. Okay, and this point is O. This is the center or midpoint of the dipole, and direction of dipole is what? Minus q to plus q. That's why it is what? A unit vector p cap. Its direction is from minus q to plus q, and dipole moment is p vector, and its direction is also from minus q to plus q. And if we draw a line perpendicular to this one, see this pencil, this is the what? This is the equatorial line. Okay, now we are going to find out electric field intensity, net electric field intensity due to this dipole at any point on this what? Equatorial line. That means maybe here, maybe here, maybe here, maybe here, maybe here. Suppose this point, at this point P, we'd like to find out what? Net electric field or total electric field. Okay, what we have to do? We have to form a isosceles triangle. Join this point P with A and P with B. Now this is a what? Isosceles triangle, and this angle is theta, and this angle will be also theta. Okay, now let us assume if you place a test charge plus q naught, then what will happen? This plus q naught charge will be attracted towards what? Negative charge. That means there is a attractive force along this line. That's why, that means test charge would have moved along this direction. That's why electric field intensity will be there. Electric field intensity E vector equal to what? Force per unit test charge, and you will get electric field intensity. Since this is due to minus q, that is why you have to write here E vector minus q. Similarly, this is the direction of E vector minus q. Similarly, due to plus q, the test charge plus q naught will be repelled by plus q charge. That means the test charge would have moved along this direction. That means there is a repulsive force along this direction, and force per unit test charge is called electric field intensity. Since this is due to plus q charge, that is why it is E vector plus q. Now you have got two electric field intensities, one along this direction and other along this direction. But see here, since magnitude of minus q and plus q is equal, that means q, that is why the magnitude of E vector plus q and E vector minus q will be exactly equal. We will find out it mathematically later on. But directions are different. One along this direction, other along this direction. Okay. Now, how will you find out net electric field intensity at point P? And you know, since these are vectors, that's why you have to use parallelogram law of vector addition. Now what you have to do? One, you have to draw a line parallel to dipole axis. Okay, this is a, and you have formed a means what? Parallelogram. One is parallel to E vector minus q, this one, and other is this one. It is parallel to what? This side is parallel to E vector plus q. Now the net electric field will be along the diagonal. That means I have not written the net electric field is suppose E vector. Since this is equatorial, the point is what? This point P is located at equatorial line. That is why I have written equatorial. EQ means abbreviation type. Okay. Now see here. Now electric field vector EQ, how will you find out? See here. Now net electric field is E vector EQ. Now see, you can resolve E vector minus EQ along two direction. One along vertical direction. One is what? Horizontal component. One is vertical component. One is horizontal component. Since theta is this is the angle theta, that's why its horizontal component will be along this direction. It is what? E minus q. This is E minus q cos theta. It is not clear here, but this is E minus q cos theta. This is the horizontal component of E vector minus q. Similarly, the vertical component will be along this direction, perpendicular to this line. Okay, and vertical component is what? E minus q sin theta. Don't write here vector. Okay, that means there are two components of E vector minus q. One is vertical component E minus q sin theta, and one is E minus q cos theta. Similarly, E vector plus q having two components. One is vertical component, that is U plus q sin theta. Since this is plus q, component of plus q, that's why I have written here plus q. One is along this direction. Why? Theta is making along this direction, and horizontal component always is the angle, is the component with which theta makes. Okay, angle theta makes. Now see here, E plus q cos theta is the horizontal component of what? E vector plus q. Now see here, we will mathematically prove that E plus q and E minus q magnitude are exactly equal. That's why we will show you that this component E plus q sin theta, this one and this one E minus q sin theta will cancel each other. Okay, now net electric field will be due to, that means E vector EQ is equal to what? E plus q cos theta plus E minus q cos theta. I think you have understood the diagram. Now let us consider the distance between P, any point P on the equatorial line P, and center of the dipole is what? Smaller. That means now here, since this is twice A, this distance is what? AO is equal to A, OB is equal to A. That means what is the distance between AP? Hypotenuse, that is why root over r square plus a square, or you may write r square plus a square to the power half. This direction, this length PB is also root over r square plus a square. Okay, I think the diagram is clear. If you haven't understood, once more you repeat that video and you can understand it. Now let us discuss the notes. Okay, let twice a dipole length, that means this is the twice a. In Assamese দ্বিমেরুর দৈর্ঘ্য. O center of the dipole, in Assamese দ্বিমেরুর মধ্যবিন্দু, and P a point on the equatorial line. Okay, this is the point. In Assamese দ্বিমেরুর নিরক্ষরেখার এটা বিন্দু. OP equal to what? Small r. Now already I have written PA equal to PB equal to root over r square plus what? A square. Now see, electric field intensities at P due to plus q and minus q charges are respectively. Okay, see here, this one, see, concentrate here. This is what? This is the electric field intensity, only magnitude. I am not going to write down here vector. Okay, only magnitude. E plus q is equal to, all of you know, electric field intensity due to a point charge is what? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. But here, since this is plus q, that is why q, r square means here, what is the distance between what? Distance between P and B. This is what? Root over r square plus a square. That is why instead of r square you have to write down the distance is what? Root over r square plus a square and a whole square, because r square, this is r and this is what? Square. Now this root over will be cancelled. That's why you will get what? Q by what? R square plus a square. This is the equation number 1. Similarly, due to minus q, electric field intensity, only magnitude 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square plus a square. Same thing. Okay, and you don't have to write here minus. But earlier topic, last class, I discussed in case of vector you have to put here minus, but in case of magnitude no need to put minus here. Okay, now see, from the calculation, E plus q and E minus q, both the values are same. That's why E plus q and E minus q are exactly equal. Now vertical components of E vector plus q and E minus q respectively are what? E plus q sin theta, this one, and E minus q sin theta. Okay, they get cancel each other. Already I have mentioned why. Since E plus q and E minus q are exactly equal, that is why what will happen, instead of E minus q, if you write U plus q, that means what will happen? This direction E plus q sin theta, and this direction also, instead of E minus q, if you put E plus q sin theta, then they get cancelled. But horizontal components of E vector plus Q, these are E vector plus Q is what? Horizontal component E plus Q cos theta, and horizontal component of E vector minus Q is what? E minus Q cos theta. Both are along the same direction. That means same direction means they will not get cancelled. That's why they will be added up. Okay. Now net electric field, see here. Now net electric field intensity at P is equal to E vector EQ equal to, here in terms of vector I am to write, that's why I have to see the direction. E vector, see here, E vector, very important thing, E vector net electric field, E vector EQ is opposite to what? Minus, P cap. That means dipole dipole moment, direction of dipole moment is this direction, but net electric field is along this direction. That means both are opposite. E bar EQ along this direction, but P bar is along this direction, or P cap is along this direction. That means P cap is towards right and this is towards left. That's why I have written here minus. Minus means opposite to, means P cap is opposite to E vector EQ. Now see, net electric field is what? E plus Q cos theta and E minus Q cos theta. And since this is the magnitude and since this is the vector, you have to multiply a unit vector. And since unit vector and this one are opposite, that's why I have put here a minus. Now put here minus, and since E plus Q and E minus Q are exactly equal, that's why what you have to do, instead of E minus Q you can write E plus Q. That's why it is twice E plus Q cos theta P cap. But E plus Q cos theta means what? Already I have written 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square plus A square. Both are same value. That's why you can write 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square plus A square. Again cos theta, you see the diagram. Cos theta means what? What cos theta? A by what? A by base by hypotenuse. A by root over R square plus A square. See here. A by root over means you can write half also, R square plus A square. Cos theta is equal to A by base by hypotenuse. Okay. And this is P cap. Now minus, just simplify here. This, there is a 1 plus half means what? 3 by 2 you can write down. Okay. 3 by 2. Now see, Q and this 2 here twice A. It will become 2 into A twice A. Q into twice A means what? Dipole moment. Already you have got the idea. That's why you can write instead of Q into twice A, P. And C, this is the net electric field intensity at any point on the equatorial line, and it is always opposite. Minus means opposite to dipole moment. Very important concept. Minus, it is opposite. Net electric field is always opposite to what? Dipole moment. And see, if R, this distance, that means if P is very far away from the what? Dipole, then what will happen? Then A square, this A square term can be neglected. That means A square will be 0. Then what will happen? R square to the power 3 by 2, R 2 cancel, R cube. Since P is constant, already I have mentioned Q and twice A are constant, and 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is constant. That's why you can write E Q is inversely proportional to 1 by R cube. This is the formula for what? Net electric field intensity of a what? Dipole. And later on I will discuss some short questions related to this topic. Okay, till then, goodbye.